Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hanson, and this is Keto Confab. It's Wednesday evening. We normally start around 7, but we're a little late tonight. That's okay. Stuff happens. And this week, Scott and I talking about when you cheat on keto, what happens when you cheat. Now, there are a lot of people who get on keto and are just so organized and so strong about it that they never cheat. Why would you ever cheat? I don't happen to be one of those people. I'm a cheater, and my cheating caught up to me this week, and I have suffered the consequences, and they have been unpleasant. And so I watched a few videos about cheating, what happens when you cheat, and how you can feel, and how you maybe should decide not to cheat. And then there's another way to cheat, which is a planned cheat, where you plan what you're going to cheat with, and how long you're going to be cheating and everything. But before we get into tonight's topic, I want to welcome Dee. She's new to our meeting, and if she could unmute herself and just tell us how long she's been doing keto, how she found Dr. Boz, I'm assuming, and if she has any particular questions she'd like us to cover this evening.
Hi, this is Dee Dee. I started doing keto officially with the Dr. Boz method on March 23rd. So it's almost a month now.
Okay.
And I found Dr. Boz online, I guess YouTube originally, that read Any Way You Can. Then I did that, a few years ago, and then I fell away. My migraine doctor suggested I take a very serious go at keto to try to control my migraines, because I have what's called a chronic migraine, where they last for 30 days plus at a whack. So, I was willing to try anything. So I decided I joined the Keto Continuum, and it has definitely made a big difference. Got a lesson real quick. I cheated on Cheerios and I got kicked in the head by a mule. So I have been fairly strict about it, but this is perfect for cheating, because I have a get together I'm supposed to go to, and I'm really stressing out about it.
Oh,
Thanks.
Oh. So Dee, wow. Headaches so you're almost a month on keto.
Yes.
Have your headaches been better since going keto?
Yes, I know the last, this will be my third week of actually having only 1 or 2 migraines that last for a day or two. Ooh. Instead of a continuous one. So I know that still sounds bad, but in comparison, it's great.
Yeah, well, a migraine that lasts for 30 days would totally take me out. I mean, I'd just be like, down for the count, leave me, go away, save yourself, kind of situation. So if you're down to 1 or 2 migraines that last for a day, I mean, wow. Yeah, wow. Now, how long have you had migraine issues?
I started getting migraines when I was in 3rd grade. So
Ooh.
I don't know, is that like about a 10-year-old? I don't really know how old they are when you're in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
That's when they started kicking in, and I didn't even know I had a migraine. I just thought I had a headache, because aspirin and everything's advertised on TV. I didn't find out I had a migraine until I was 42.
Wow.
So
wow.
I just thought I couldn't handle my headaches.
So your motivation to stay keto is pretty big. Well, I think it's pretty big.
It's pretty big. I was also diagnosed with lupus and it's called Pseudo Gout, which is where you get calcium crystals that form inside your joints and destroy your joints. And I have celiac, so I already have autoimmune stuff. So my motivation for this is definitely health, but it's really, it comes down to, I want to be able to have a life
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
and do things.
your transition into keto, how has it been with your gout, your pseudo gout symptoms?
Wow, they have dropped off so radically, which I was
Okay.
really afraid of. But I mean, I still avoid black pepper and I can't have many greens. So chard and kale and all that stuff's really reduced.
Mhm,
And I think just being off the sugar, my inflammation has reduced.
mhm,
And I think it helps drinking so much water,
mhm,
right? Flushing,
mhm,
flushing, flushing.
mhm.
Um, I still feel like I have about 40 more pounds to go.
So that was going to be another question I was going to ask you. Do you think before you started keto, do you think you had any insulin resistance going on? Are you to the point of the continuum where you're testing your blood sugar and your blood ketones?
I I test at least twice a day.
Okay.
Um, my uh, my brother, who's a few years older than me, was diagnosed with diabetes that was brought on by cortisone
Oh,
injection,
oh,
and he beat it, and he's no longer considered diabetic because he went to intermittent fasting and eating super like no sugar at all.
mhm,
Um, and I figured I was on the diabetes track with
yeah,
both,
on the
what's it
path.
called? Well, I had menopause hit and the pandemic hit.
Ugh.
So I gained a lot of weight in a very short amount of time.
Mhm.
And I've never had a belly before. And I had this middle-aged paunch that was starting to like lap over. And I was like, this is
Mhm.
not me. So yes, I thought I was definitely headed to diabetes.
Mhm. Wow. Well, thank you very much, Dee, for
Thanks.
sharing. For the couple of you that came in a little bit late, this evening's topic is cheating on keto and what it does to our bodies. And Dr. Boz has a really good video on this on her um, YouTube channel. So does Dr. Berg, Dr. Barry. Um, I didn't see whether Dr. Siwa has one or Dr. Jamatis. I didn't see whether either of them had one, but I'm sure they've got something. Um, but I'm a little bit of a cheater because I like to have a little bit of sweet every now and then. I'm a sugar addict, I admit it, but I went crazy this last week. One evening I had a chocolate bar. I had some rice cocoa puff cereal, and I had a big old bowl of ice cream. And I have to tell you, the biggest thing, besides feeling sluggish and having back pain and, ankle and foot pain and everything, my biggest thing was my liver actually hurt. I mean, my liver was in pain. It was in agony. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I overdid it. And when I watched Dr. Berg's video, he explained why. He said, because if you eat regular sugar, cane sugar, pure sugar, um, the liver processes that well. But um, if you eat fructose, high fructose corn syrup or fructose sugar, that damages the liver 2 times as much as regular white cane sugar. And I'm like, ew, that was what I did. Because the candy bar I had a fructose in it. The cereal I had fructose in it, and the ice cream I had fructose in it. And my blood sugar was high that night. I don't want to say the number because it's scary. And the next morning, it was still high. It was like 130. And I mean, I've never had a blood sugar of 130 in the morning, never. But I really, really overdid it. And then I was good for 2 days. And then I went out to the movies with my youngest daughter and some of her friends. And I decided I was going to be good and not eat all the popcorn and not drink a soda. I brought my own water, but I had a candy. And well, let's just say things went downhill. And my blood sugar yesterday was like 140 in the morning. This morning it was 144. My ketones were either not there or at 0.2. So, and I have felt like crap. And if you've been with our group very long, you know that I'm prone to get heart arrhythmias and stuff. I've pretty much been at tachycardia for the last 2 days. And that's where the heart is racing. And today I've been at 135 beats per minute most of the day. And that was even while I was sleeping because I was so exhausted. I laid down to sleep, but it just kept racing even while I was sleeping. So, but I hope that I've learned my lesson because this has been miserable. And I've basically been out of service for 2 days. I've been sitting here in my chair in the living room for 2 days doing pretty much nothing. Having my husband or my daughter get this or that for me, or do this or that for me. And I listened to these videos today on how to get back into ketosis and everything. And so, I'm doing it and I have to just stop cheating. And why do I cheat? I don't know, because I have some stupid brain that thinks I can, I mean, I'm with my daughter and her friends, and they're all getting candy and popcorn and soda. And I think I'm doing a good thing. Oh, I'll just get one candy, And yeah, no, I probably would have been better off with the popcorn. But then all the sodium would have made my blood pressure go up. So I don't know. I think with me, it's a desire to fit in, to be with the other people there. I mean, everybody at the movie was getting popcorn and soda and candy, and they were all munch, munch, munch during the whole movie. And it was a long movie. It was more than 2 hours. And, I would have, if I could have had something keto to put in my mouth, but what would that be? What do you say,
Lily,
Pammy?
you could have brought Lily's chocolate. You could have brought pork rinds. You could have brought stuff with you that was keto snacks, peanuts or nuts or something to do. And you know what? I have snuck many a thing into movie theaters. I just put it in my purse and take it in. I've taken my own Diet Pepsi because they didn't have Diet Pepsi. They only had Coke. And I've carried in snacks and stuff. So it's
I because of allergies, I can't have any nuts.
well,
And,
whatever you can have.
and pork rinds make me nauseous. I can't even stand the smell. And I
Lily's
don't know where
chocolate.
to get Lily's chocolate. I'll have to look it up.
I know Kroger's has it because I have Kroger's near me,
Yeah.
and I don't think Walmart does, but you can get them online too.
Yeah, I'll look up
But I
Lily's
mean, you just have to
chocolates.
find something or make some keto treats that you can take with you in a container, whatever you like to eat.
I like to eat everything I shouldn't eat is
Well,
what
I
I like
know,
to
but
eat.
you make, I don't cheat so much as eating stuff that's not keto. I cheat with keto things and just eat more of them. I have a keto
Oh,
bakery in town and she makes, like say brownies. So I take the brownies and they're keto brownies. They're probably, they're not sugar in it. And I just cut them into pieces, lots of pieces. And then I wrap them in saran wrap and wrap them in foil and put them all in the freezer. And I just take one out when I want it. So it's a small piece, not the whole tin that she gives you.
mhm.
Or I overeat keto stuff, not necessarily non-keto stuff. And I'm fortunate that when I do cheat, I don't have all the medical conditions or migraines or like you had all those problems. I don't have all those problems. So it's easy for me to cheat. I think when people have a compelling medical reason that when they do cheat, they're going to be ill, they're going to be sick, they're going to be whatever they're going to be. I mean, that kind of just makes you not want to. And maybe, people think twice before doing it like what Dee was saying, you know, that she'll get migraines, and she had like an extreme reaction when she cheated, and that just makes her not want to cheat.
Yeah. I think I thought, because I cheat with a little something something every now and then. Usually it's dark chocolate, and I don't eat a ton of it, but I just went so extreme this time, you know, with the ice cream and the cereal and the chocolate bar. And then it was 2 days later, I thought, oh, I certainly can have a chocolate bar and I'm not going to get that horrible liver pain and feel as crappy. But no, my body said, you know what? If you're going to be this way to me, I'm going to teach you a lesson. And it sure has. So it comes back to bite you, and it is not good on your metabolism. It's not good on your body chemistry. And so, yeah. So with me, I think it's a mental thing, you know, and I just need to get over this time. Now, Dee, you said you were going to be going to some sort of gathering, and you're worried about it. Do the people at this gathering know you and know your health challenges?
They do know me and they do know my health challenges, but I can say this is not a judgment-free zone.
Mm.
They already think that I have a very, wacky diet because I can't have nuts, I can't have the nightshades, and I can't have the things that cause the pseudo gout to flare. So they've already, kind of slammed me into a pigeonhole. But I think I'm just gonna suck it up, buttercup, and I'm gonna make myself a cauliflower crust and my own little toppings on it and go. And just, they don't like it, it's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dee. I mean, I can't have nuts. I can't eat chicken or turkey, or beef. I can't have chicken, turkey, or beef. And I just have a lot of I cannot eat things. And people think I'm nuts and they think it's all in my head. But I mean, it's very clear to me that when I eat these things I'm not supposed to, that I suffer the consequences. And I just have to keep telling myself that I'm not on this planet to please or make these other people feel comfortable about my issues. And I think it's a good plan for you to take your own little crust with your own little toppings and things. And I have tried eating before going to like some party or something, really eating and really getting full. And then I'll search the party for something that is pseudo okay for me to have, like brick cheese is pseudo okay for me, um, or some celery sticks, but I'm not always successful because let's just face it, the desserts are usually the star of the party. And I have a huge sugar thing. I'm a sugar thing. So, Patricia, you looked like you were wanting to say something.
I'm so sorry to hear both you and Dee, and I'm sorry I came late. I was in another meeting. I have an awful lot of sympathy. I have a girlfriend who was a Dr. Boz aficionado, and she has MS. And when she messes up, it means back to the walker for her. So they had a false delivery of some groceries. And when that happens, they don't get picked up. You have to somehow use the groceries. And so she had some ice cream and some chips that she shouldn't have had. And the next day she was back on the walker. So, the penalty is high. It's high for some people when they make a mistake. But it's very hard. It's very hard. And so that's why you have to have a really good why. That's going to help you. Like I'm on Easter, I was at the family thing, and it turned into a neighborhood party. And suddenly there were all kinds of cakes and wine and all kinds of unbelievable fruits and things that I didn't even know it was going to happen. It was a surprise. But anyway, I had already decided ahead of time I was just going to have the ham and the mustard. And that's what I did. And, you know, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I have tremendous sympathy for people that when they make a mistake, the penalty is really high. All I can say is you just have to go back to your why. That's the only way. I think you have to have your mind made up, whether you're surprised or not. I mean, if you go into a movie theater, the minute you open the door, you smell that popcorn. There's no way you were going to survive 2 hours with that popcorn in the air. I don't know. You just have to make up your mind. Okay, this is like the devil for me. I cannot touch it. I cannot touch it. It's going to blow me. It's going to cause me to lay down on the couch all afternoon the next day or something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have no answer except to say the why.
And you know what, Patricia, I think you're right. Because let's face it, I started keto back in November of 2020. And my goal was to lose 100 pounds by my birthday in August of 2021. And that was kind of my why. And, you know, and then the sub why was I want my blood sugars to go back. I want to heal my liver. I want to get my blood pressure down. I want to, you know, just feel better. And I did all of those things. And I got to my birthday, and I think I need to go back and look at my why, because it was so stuck on that 100 pounds and getting to my birthday. And now we're 9 months past my birthday, and I struggle. I cheat more now than I did, you know, before my birthday while I was trying to lose that 100 pounds. Now I have another 60 to 80 pounds I want to lose. And I can't just start eating the way I was before and not have all my health problems, you know? So I think you're right, Patricia. I think I do need to go back to my why. Because obviously I was too focused on the birthday and get the 100 pounds gone. And I haven't refocused on, okay, what's my next step? What's my next step? And you're absolutely right. Those of us with health issues, there's a higher price to pay when we go off, you know. There's a pain price. Every time I eat chocolate, I have low back pain, and but I love chocolate so much, and there's a high price to pay for it. Those others like Scott, you know, he can go up on his carbs and not gain 20 pounds, and he doesn't get into pain and stuff. And sometimes it's a bit annoying for me to be living with a person like him who's doing keto, but not because he has all sorts of health problems or because he's terribly overweight, you know. And it's just hard, you know. And then, you know, we have our youngest daughter who isn't keto, you know. I mean, we would like her to be, but she's an adult and she doesn't wish to be. And currently she doesn't have health problems, you know, so she doesn't see a need. So,
Well, don't forget, Elizabeth, you have a tremendous success story already behind you. You lost a whole bunch of weight, so you can do this.
And I reversed
And
all of my
just keep
enzymes of my
reminding
liver.
yourself. Yeah, keep
Yeah.
reminding yourself of the good, and don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up.
Yeah, that other day when my liver was hurting me so bad, I'm like, oh man, what have I done to my liver? Because, you know, I started keto with all of those terrible enzymes. My liver enzymes were at the top of normal, a little past it in a couple of them, and my liver was on its way out. And good thing I don't drink. But, you know, I mean, I rescued my liver, you know, but then I do that one night of eating stupid stuff because I want to, and my liver was so painful. Oh, it was awful. And I'm like, now I've really messed up, you know, but hopefully my little episode here is going to, you know, solve things. And, you know, I should have just sent my daughter to the movies with her friends and not gone, but I wanted to see the movie too. So,
Well, anyway, I think you're doing a great job. I know it's tough, but I think the Dr. Boz I've looked at lots of other, you know, I'm retired, so I can watch a lot of videos during the day, and I watch a lot of things, and I think Dr. Boz is one of the best, and I think that you're on the right track. You've got a program, and you just have to. I think too, you know, I don't know if you ever have time, but there are other support groups out there, and I get an awful lot of encouragement from, I mean, some of these ladies, I'm 71, some of these ladies are like 78 years old, and they are working as hard as they can to keep their Dr. Boz ratio. I mean, I find it very encouraging to hear other people. And I feel sorry for you with the snow. Some of these other people, well, like there's one lady from Winnipeg, and she had snow too. But I think it's very important to keep going, to go to meetings and hear how other people are working through problems and things like that.
yeah, it's hard for me to get to some of the other meetings. I want to go, but it's hard for me to get to them because those are at my time when I'm busy with clients and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it makes it hard, but you're right. I should do some other meetings.
The Keto Mindset group meets on Saturday morning, and they record, and she puts it out. If you're part of that group, you can watch it later on in the week. And some of those discussions are wonderful.
I'll look into it.
Yeah. Are you part of the Keto Mindset with Kim Powers?
I think so.
The Saturday morning?
I just never make it Saturday morning.
Yeah, but you can watch it when you have an hour free, you know?
So, yeah, I'll have to look into that.
I really do think that, you know, Dr. Boz is right. We need support groups. We need to let people know that you're not by yourself dealing with this thing. There's people all over the country dealing with it too. Well, not as severe as you and Dee have it, or my other girlfriend with her MS, but you can learn some things from how people, for example, I heard one woman say that when she fasts, she uses sardines and bacon. And she uses the bacon as a top off. It's her dessert after eating the sardines. I couldn't believe that, but I think it's a great idea. It's her way of, and so anyway, it's good to, I think, hear other people.
You should try butter.
Scott loves butter.
A couple sticks of butter, yeah.
Oh, and then another lady told me, I said, Woody, how do you eat your sardines? She said, I get a tablespoon of kimchi and I put the sardine on top of it. and I just eat it all as one bite. And she says it's delicious. I tried that this morning. It is really very tasty if you like kimchi.
I used to like kimchi. We haven't had it in a long time. There's really not a good source for it around here, right, honey?
Well, yeah, I mean, here in the local area, probably not, but in Fargo, we've got is it Fargo where they have the Asian store, the Asian grocery store? We could probably order it online, I suppose.
How far is Fargo?
It's about a 4.5-hour drive.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Again, I guess
Yeah,
you
we
could
live in the
learn how to
middle of
make it
nowhere.
yourself.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll check into some of the other support groups and everything. Now, Melody has made a couple of statements on the chat, if anybody's been watching the chat. And she says, I am making April my off month. I've been having sweets for birthday celebrations, chocolate cherries, and a few tiny candy bars, and I don't care. Okay. And let's see, I think there's one more. My numbers will keep me from gaining, but I probably won't lose. Just maintain. It's okay for this month. Yeah, well, it is okay for 1 month, but let me tell you one thing. I was listening to a couple of videos from Dr. Berg today, and then I listened to Keto Continuum. It's a husband and wife, and all of them, including Dr. Boz, said that the shorter amount of time you've actually been keto and then to go cheat is harder on your metabolism than if you had been solid keto for 2 years and then you have a cheat week or something. So just be aware. It's fine, Melody. You get to make your own decisions. You're an adult and you can decide what you want to do with your life. But just beware when you try and go back on keto, you need to be careful or you could get sick, and feel ill, have some diarrhea, have some constipation, have some body aches and pains, have some headaches, some other problems because you haven't been keto that long. And going on a cheat month where you're doing just a little bit, I know you're not going totally crazy with it, you're just doing a little bit, but just be careful when you cycle back on. Now the other thing Melody has put, she's asked a question, can I put Sage, that's her pup, on keto to correct her arthritis for possible osteocarcinoma? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've watched a number of videos on taking our pets keto and how it can improve their lives because our pets get arthritis and cancer and diabetes and kidney infections and all sorts of stuff the same as we do. And taking them keto has the same benefits. But I am not an expert on how to take your pet keto. I would suggest you look it up, Keto for Pets, on YouTube and online and try and find some stuff. I think Dr. Boz did at least one video on doing keto with your pets. But I know there are others out there that talk about keto for pets. And I'm like, you know what, if you want to do it, because I know that Melody's dog was diagnosed with arthritis, but I guess she's saying they are thinking maybe osteocarcinoma. Well, that's not good. And no matter whether it's arthritis or it's a type of cancer or whatever, I think the dog could benefit. So start doing your research, Melody. Start doing your research and find out how you take your animals keto and see if you can help her because that would be the thing to do. Okay, So anybody else have anything to say about cheating or not cheating or getting back on? And Lily's chocolate. I'm going to have to remember that. Lily's chocolate. And anything else? Any other questions? Melody or Dee? Glad to see Patricia back. Yay. And it's okay if you come in late. That's all right. We know who you are. And anyway, if nobody else has anything else, it's a little before 8 and I'll turn off the recorder and call it a night. All right. Bye, everybody.
I wanted to say goodbye to everybody, but I also,
Okay.
as a person who also struggles with some health issues, I just try to remind myself that I'm smarter than a rat, and rats will not eat what makes them sick. And so every time I start to get, like my daughter's eating ice cream, or I'm really craving a brownie or whatever it is, I think of a rat avoiding poison.
Mhm.
And it clenches my stomach, and 90% of the time it works. Sometimes I'm like, but I want it.
Wow.
And I go there anyway. But my husband thinks it's hysterical that I call myself a smart rat, but that's the only thing that's been able to keep me on the train, because yeah, the why is there, but there's also, I think that I personally believe that our gut biome, that there's the bad bugs living in there that want those things that make us sick. And it's something, there's so many of them in there that until we can really get rid of them, we're really controlled by our intestinal guts, which it offends my sense of who I am, that I'm an intelligent person and I could make my own decisions. And then I think of these little bacteria in my guts driving me crazy. But then I remind myself, it is an addiction. And it's just like any other addiction, whether it's a cigarette, cocaine, alcohol, work, whatever your vice is, it's hard to overcome. Right? And most addicts don't quit the first time. They don't quit the third time or even the 10th time, but they have to keep trying. And that's all I can do for myself. And so when I fall off, and falling off to me was I ate 3 Lily's yesterday, Lily's chocolate bars, ate 3 of them. One was good. Second one was great. The third one was just perfect. But it's not good, right? It was still a cheat, but yeah, it was a keto cheat, but it was still a cheat. But I don't know if that helps you with like how to frame mentally what's going on. Is literally, I think of a rat. And I think I have to be smarter than a damn rat.
Well, I'm telling you, man, so I'm not smarter than a rat. I still eat the sugar and the soy and the things I shouldn't.
No, it's
And
the image. It's the
that is
actual image of it.
offensive. And I have to be smarter than a rat.
I just remind myself, I see the image of a rat and I just have to remind myself, they are smart enough to not eat something that makes them sick. I can be as smart as a rat. So I hope that helps.
There have been studies done with caterpillars and other caterpillars that will, not only will they avoid things that will make them sick, they'll also eat foods. If they have an imbalance where they've got too much fat in their diet, not enough protein or something, they'll actually eat something else that will restore that balance.
Huh.
And
Very
bears
cool.
bears don't eat things that make them sick either. In fact, if a bear has some sort of ailment, it'll actually eat a certain type of plant that will heal that ailment. And so, the bears actually have a like a medicinal diet if they're sick. Kind of interesting.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
I
night,
think
everybody.
that's great, Dee. I think that there's a mental game here too. You can you can explain to yourself, you are the master of your ship, and you're going to be in charge, and you're going to decide what's going to, and you just tell yourself that you're in charge, and you can change, you can change the outlook of something. I think that's a great idea, Dee.
I think it's because to me, it's kind of funny comparing myself mentally. I have to use humor to make myself, to kind of break the seriousness of the moment. If I think of a big wood rat, like you see on ships, those huge rats, and I just think, really, they're innately intelligent because they're a being, but they're also so gross. And so it makes me laugh to think that I can be at least as smart as a rat.
Yes.
So for me, it's like, I can only, I guess I feel like I'm not the world's most patient girl. And I have to use that tablespoon throughout the day on just being nice to other people sometimes, like when I'm driving. So I don't have a lot left over when it comes to getting a snack. But what I can do is I can either make myself laugh, or I can literally make myself mentally feel nauseous and ill about eating something. Like when I think about eating, a donut, I know a lot of people really love them, but I have psyched myself out so much of seeing this grease film all over the inside of my mouth, and it grosses me out so much. I have no desire to eat a donut. And I know that that's probably some eating disorder, so I'm sorry if I'm sharing something really unhealthy, but I think you have to find out whatever works for you. And I'm certainly no princess in this department, but those are two tricks that work for me 9 out of 10. One is a rat, and 2 is just grossing myself out on a food. I know it's a little crazy. So
I don't want to drag this on, but I heard, imagine broken glass on top of the food. Just use your mind to just make the food really yucky. And sometimes it can help. Sorry,
I like it.
I'm really grossing Elizabeth out now.
Well, the donuts used to be my thing. I loved donuts, but donuts have just caused too much trouble, too much pain, too much swelling, too much constipation. It's terrible with donuts that they are not my go-to cheat ever anymore. I look at them, I want them, and I say, I'm not willing to pay that price. And
see, that's being the smart rat.
Yeah.
Because you know what that pain is.
Yeah. Because so anything, I am not celiac, but I can't eat any gluten grains. The only grains I could eat before I went on keto were oats and rice. And then when I saw what rice did to my blood sugar, holy cow. I'm okay. Every now and then when my daughter's having a nice bowl of rice, I'm like, oh man, I wish could have some rice, but I know what it does to my blood sugar. So I'm like, my dad died of complications of diabetes, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down that road. And I was so thankful when I met up with Dr. Boz and figured out how to work on myself, because I could just see myself dying before I turned 70 and, not getting to see my grandchildren graduate from high school or get married or anything like that. And
so has anybody here tried intermittent fasting to try to help with like their cravings? Because for me, I can, again, because I don't have much patience with myself or anyone else, at night, I am a food eater. Like I can go all day long without eating. Get me to about 10 o'clock at night, and then I'm like, I'll eat anything.
I really recommend the intermittent fasting. My husband and I are now both doing 16/8, which is we stop eating like at 3 p.m. and then we pick up again. I really like my coffee in the morning, so I have coffee with salt at 6 o'clock. And then I've been trying to do this 36-hour fasts. I've done it 8 weeks now. So I think they're really, you know, I told my husband he's not ready to fast yet because he hasn't really done the 16/8 long enough, because you don't want to be starving yourself going to bed at night. So, you got to get that sugar, that ghrelin down with the intermittent fasting. And then you can do, 24, 36-hour.
I try and do 18/6. I'm not always successful with 18/6. But I try to do 18/6. But Dee, I hear you. It gets dark and I'm still up working on paperwork or a session for a client or something, and I just want a snack. I just want to and I keep telling myself, no, you don't need to eat. You're bored. You just want something in your mouth. No, 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 no. And then that's when I'll see my daughter making some, tortilla chips with cheese on them. And I'm like, oh, I could have just a few of those. Yeah, no, I can't do that. So yeah, nighttime eating is a problem, and I'm up at night many times. And so it's a problem for me. But I have to get it under control because there's no other choice. And Dr. Boz says if you start to feel hungry, go to bed, just go to bed. Well, sometimes I'm in the middle of a session for a client, or I'm on the phone with a client who's very ill. I can't just go to bed, or I have a child that's up and not going to bed, and I have to supervise them and make sure we have a disabled daughter who has a habit of going outside just randomly. And so I have to make sure she doesn't do that. So, but anyway, well, I'm going to call tonight's meeting to an end and stop the recording. And everybody have a good week. And, I'm going to be working on getting back into ketosis and getting over myself and being a very smart rat. Thank you, Dee. That's good, because I'm definitely smarter than a rat. I mean, most rats don't have college degrees, so I'm smarter there, but I just need to put my smarts to work for my benefit. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for the chat and your suggestions, and we'll see you next week.